Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for All About Android is provided by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by Netflix. Watch thousands of TV episodes and movies streamed to your PC, Mac, or TV instantly. Plus, get DVDs by mail in about one business day. For your free 30-day trial, go to netflix.com/twit. And by Trim Tonic, a natural appetite suppressant tonic that takes the edge off of being hungry. Visit trimtonic.com, that's TRIMTONIQ.com, for more information and enter coupon code TWIT for a 20% discount.
It's Tuesday, May 31st, 2011. Welcome to episode 10 of All About Android, your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Eileen Rivera.
I'm Jason Howell.
And I'm Ron Richards.
We're back.
We're back yet again.
Welcome back from the long weekend.
Yeah,
How's everybody doing?
Yeah, a little haggard.
I know.
Yeah,
Not from the weekend, from today.
Yeah,
kind of one of
Is
those
this three grumpy hosts trying to, come back to life after a long weekend?
Yeah.
In the United States, we had Memorial Weekend, so for those of you overseas, we were just kind of getting back into the groove.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, I think we're just kind of used to okay, it's Monday, we're back, but we had an extra day.
And the day after the day off always seems to be the worst for some reason. Like you're behind the eight ball, you're catching up, and it's been one of those days.
I just felt really behind.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. But I've been traveling too. So good to be back with you guys.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. This week we're going to be talking about HTC's bootloader debacle, Google Wallet, the funky Padfone. And in the arena this week are three completely different tablet optimized apps. They're completely different. So I don't know how you guys are going to choose what you like the best. I'm not even going to campaign for mine this time.
Oh, yeah, sure you're not.
I always lose anyways. So.
We kind of cover the gamut with today's arena. And so I'm excited to get there because there were a couple of things that I just didn't even know about other than my own, of course.
All right. Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's jump into it with the news. Right. So I would say one of the bigger pieces of news that kind of happened last week that we should at least talk about a little bit is this whole thing with HTC. So if you hadn't heard, I'll sum it up like this. HTC phones, they're historically pretty easy to unlock. I wouldn't necessarily say that HTC went out of their way to make their phones totally unlockable, but rarely was there a problem unlocking their phones. Suddenly, ROM fans, people who like to install ROMs, discovered that HTC is locking down their bootloaders on a few phones and kind of get suspicious. HTC confirms that this is kind of their new policy, that they're going to start kind of locking down their bootloaders with signature checks and making it really, really hard, if not impossible, to do so. Kind of goes against historically how it's been with their devices. ROM fans get very angry, and they organize an impressive internet revolt and basically pummel HTC's Facebook page in just a massive amount of numbers of people just hitting that page with a huge campaign that in the course of, I would say, probably about 48 hours, ultimately led to HTC saying, all right, we're going to review our policies. And shortly thereafter, they posted an update on there basically saying that they reviewed the decision and ultimately they're changing their mind. They're no longer going to lock down the bootloaders. So yay, everybody rejoices. It kind of feels like the vocal few, because I would say in the vast number of Android users, I mean, people that actually go out of their way to root their phones and modify them to that degree, it's probably a smaller percentage. But they were able to kind of have their voices be heard and change to a large degree what was seen as kind of, a difficult hurdle to get past, to turn the tide completely with HTC on their decision. So that's pretty cool.
Totally amazed that it worked, and this is the kind of thing that fuels all those save your favorite TV show campaigns, because you hear these stories of wow, they did, they massed together and they got them to change their decision and we can get anything we want now, and it always makes me laugh because when it matters, they don't normally change the decision. So I'm glad that HTC changed the decision and went with it. But it's one of those rare cases where you see that actually people made a difference, which is awesome. So.
Yeah, and I mean even beyond that, and I hate to come down on the other side too, because I am really excited about this. I think it's impressive that they were able, that these vocal few were able to make such a difference with HTC. That doesn't necessarily mean that HTC is going completely unlocked across the board. All that means is they're not going to lock down their bootloaders if they're actually putting their money where their mouth is. Now, they've said that they're going to do this. We don't know. History will tell. But even if they unlock their bootloaders and they still keep the system very difficult to achieve root on, I mean, you can't do anything with a bootloader if you can't get root access. So, I mean, they could very easily lock it down even further and prevent you from getting root access, still keeping the bootloader unlocked, and they're holding true to their word, yet it still doesn't make a difference. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of withholding judgment. I think it's great that this happened, but history will really tell the tale. So
I mean, and I think it's really interesting. Just shows again how Android, the openness of the Android platform leads to things like this, where the average customer walking into a Verizon store looking for an Android phone probably doesn't even fathom this. But for the real hardcore techie, kind of the modders and the hackers, this is a make or break kind of thing. And ultimately, whether or not HTC is able to stick with it, or like you said, come up with things that work around it and still accomplish that, will remain to be seen. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah. So, so in other news, I was super excited the other day because I woke up and I'm going through my news feeds, I'm looking on Twitter, and I see all this chatter that Google's announced Google Wallet. And I was like, oh, cool. So I go and check it out, and I go to the website, and there's the Nexus S, and I'm like, oh, cool. Oh my God, they've done it. They've used NFC, and they're gonna make a payment for a thing. And oh, look, there's the MasterCard thing, and I'm gonna be able to pay for my Snapple at the deli with my phone, and this is awesome. And so I go and to sign up to be notified when it's gonna sign up, and I'm told if you have a Nexus S 4G on Sprint, you're a happy person. Google Wallet promises you to allow you to use your NFC-capable phone to make payments at retailers by storing your credit cards and gift cards inside the Google Wallet app. And I immediately got deflated because I'm like, wait a minute, I have a Nexus S. It's got NFC. I'm not on Sprint. It's not a Nexus S 4G. So maybe that's just. So I signed up for it, and I got this message like, oh, we'll let you know when it's wider, but you might want to consider getting a Nexus S from Sprint. And I was like, oh, crap. No. So I was immediately, in the span of about 3 minutes, I went roller coaster, really excited to all the way depressed. And so
I went to the map where it shows you where it works. Put in my zip code. Oh, look at that. The CVS down the street. Foot Locker, Rock on 7-Eleven, Union 76. No, I'm with you, Ron. I have the OG Nexus S. T-Mobile, not on board yet. Who knows? They're going away anyway, so who knows if they're ever going to be on board.
Yeah, no, I wonder if there's something different about the Nexus S 4G that's different than the Nexus S that I got through T-Mobile. I'm not sure. I haven't done the research about it.
There's something different with the NFC chip. Possibly.
Yeah, who knows? I can't imagine it, or did they just strike a deal with Sprint and it's one of these exclusivity things, and which I get, and from business sense, I'm not moving to Sprint because the bloatware on their phones are awful.
We did get a complaint that you said that last time on one of our shows, and he's like, what are you talking about, Ron?
I can't. I mean, and this it could be an antiquated response, but every time I see a Sprint phone, I just see all those Sprint icons and all those things, and I just want a phone that's clean, that I don't need to get anything on it. But I feel as if we're getting distracted from the greater question, which is, do you want to use your phone as a payment purchase thing? And while it does note that that you will need a Google Wallet PIN in order to authorize the purchase.
Right. You will still need to pick up your phone when you're waving it, above that receiver and enter in a security PIN, which, I mean, that makes perfect sense to have to do that, but it's still not as convenient as pulling out your phone and going blip and being done with it.
Exactly.
And even with that, and even with the PIN, somebody can see it. I mean, it goes back to the same things with ATMs when ATMs first came out, people covering their hand to show their PIN and all that sort of stuff. But the thing is, is this something that you would use? What if you lose your phone? What if, somebody finds your PIN and steals, there are a bunch of different security issues. I, for one, love it because I see this as the future, and I think this is super cool, and I totally want to use it. But I'm also early adopter-y, and maybe I'm, not as cautious as I should be. But
I have lost my phone, and so that's the only reason why it makes me nervous, because I'm so bumbly with this. But just security-wise, but we'll probably do an episode on this on security. There's many ways to secure your phone to make sure you can remote wipe and all that stuff. But I agree with you, Ron. I mean, I am also an early adopter. I really want to try it. That's why I got this freaking phone.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's got to be some sort of a deal. It has to be some sort of a deal that's keeping it only on Sprint in the short term, or maybe they're kind of, starting with a smaller pool of people. They can kind of iron the kinks out and then widen it. Because, I mean, they even said in this announcement that their ultimate plan is for this to be everywhere. Obviously. Obviously, they're shooting for the moon as far as that's concerned. But NFC, I don't know the nitty-gritty on the NFC technology specifically, but I don't think that there are like different types of NFC that one Nexus S is going to have versus another one that's just on a different carrier.
It's just got to be a deal. And the other important thing to note too is that Google offers are going to work in conjunction with Google Wallet.
Right.
So as Google is starting to ramp up to fight Groupon or whatever else is going on, this could be a major piece of it. I don't want to be left out. So and typically with these deals, there's like an exclusivity period. So like admittedly, it hasn't even launched yet. Like it was like a notify me when I can use it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens when it launches and see how long it takes. Like maybe Sprint people just get first access and then they'll roll it out to all the rest of us. I hope so.
I mean, my initial thought when I was kind of reading through this was, yeah, that sounds great to be able to use your phone. And they like to throw around the kind of the thought of like, leave your wallet at home. Don't worry, you've got Google Wallet. But you leave your wallet at home and Google Wallet works at 75% of the places. There's still 25% of the places that you still need your wallet for.
Exactly.
It would suck to be somewhere and not have it and need it.
And that Google Wallet logo sure looks like the Google Wave logo, doesn't it?
It kind of does. Here,
they got to recycle it. They spent all this time and research on the logo, so they got to kind of like use it still, right?
Yeah, totally.
Don't want to waste it. All right, well, moving on to a few pieces of malware news. This is breaking today. First, Droid Dream Lite, a variant of Droid Dream malware that appeared in the market a few months back, has been spotted in over 25 new apps. Also making the rounds is BaseBridge, a fee deduction malware embedded currently in more than 20 apps that, once granted access, can potentially make calls and send SMS messages without the user's knowledge, incurring high costs in the process. Google has removed all apps known to be affected from the market, but advice remains the same. Be careful where and who you download your apps from, and if you don't trust the source, don't install the app. A list of full affected apps can be found at the link stories in our show notes.
Yeah, making calls and sending texts on your behalf. That doesn't sound very good.
Scary.
Well, that's what you get for downloading Hot Sexy Videos version 0.1.10.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Oh, wait, was I not supposed to review that app in this episode? I didn't know.
Is that a tablet-optimized app?
If I had known, I wouldn't have.
All right. Well, be careful, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's move on to hardware.
All right. So let's see here. I believe it's me anyways. Yes, Barnes & Noble. They had a little bit of an announcement last week. And if you're a fan of the Nook, now this is not the Nook color, but if you're a fan of just the regular black and white e-ink Nook, they do have a new version of that coming out. They refreshed their Nook e-reader with a Z-Force touchscreen, so it has a full-on touchscreen, doesn't need any of the Kindle buttons down at the bottom. And they said 80% less flashing, which I guess if you're a Nook user is a very common occurrence. And so they didn't get rid of all that flashing, but most of it. For some reason, it must have to do that every once in a while. I don't know
okay.
why. But I've heard it's really annoying.
All right.
80% less flashing. That's awesome.
Not 99.9. Android 2.1 powers the device with Wi-Fi only, 2 gigs of storage, and a micro SD slot. Pre-order online and in the store now for a June 10th shipping date, if that sounds like your cup of tea.
Interesting.
And root it for us. Let us know.
Yes.
It's probably already rooted, right? I'm guessing it is.
That's a really good question. A rooted like e-ink display would. I just feel like yeah, Android on an e-ink display that has any sort of like refresh rate that's super slow. Like, can't imagine that's very fun. But
very specific version of Android.
Yeah.
But, so speaking of versions of Android and stuff like that, Asus has come up with an interesting little hardware hybrid. We've seen a lot of cases of tablets that can be docked and turned into laptops and things like this. But now Asus has the Asus Padfone, which is a 4.3-inch smartphone that powers a 10-inch tablet.
I'm sorry. Padfone.
Go with me here. The Asus Padfone. What they explain is that it's a 4.3-inch Gingerbread phone, so it's Android running Gingerbread, that docks inside the 10-inch Honeycomb tablet. So basically, yeah.
Okay. Now, first of all, Asus has come out with a commercial.
Yep.
They have their, if viewers who are watching our show can see the behind the scenes of how they conceptualized it. They also had a big presentation at Computex in Taiwan. Am I saying it right? And it's sort of like they had this sort of magical presentation. The Asus CEO did. So I don't know. Everything seems kind of funny. Then the name, and it's hard to take it seriously.
Man, the commercial is so incredibly cheesy.
It's bad.
It's so wacky. Bad. The whole thing is wacky. I mean, like, what's great is that, like, this is why I like companies like Asus and companies that, a lot of the Asian, kind of electronics company, because they come up with these wacky ideas that I would never have thought of, which is...
I mean, okay.
Yeah,
we're watching the commercial right now. We have a man walking with his phone. He got a promotion. He got a text. Nice little UI here. He's saying thank you with an email. He's like, he got his coffee right away. Like, he just knows people.
I think he used NFC there.
It's like a 2-minute commercial of this guy just walking with his phone.
Yeah, and then later he's meeting with girls. He's going to show this tablet. That looks very Windows 7, doesn't it, there?
OS, yeah.
Okay, so he's got an umbrella. It's very absurd sort of situations.
It's like this guy can't live his life without his phone.
Exactly.
And the phone is helping him because he knew to get the umbrella.
Yeah.
And he's going to leave it with that couple because they need some privacy. Whatever. It's a very kind of kitschy.
It's so wacky.
It's just kind of bizarre. And now he's skateboarding.
The stairs turn into a slide.
And, now he's getting on the bus.
Doesn't make
any sense.
He's
going to check his email some more with the phone. He's going to play videos. Any videos.
It's pretty silly.
Okay, let's get back to the device, though. It's supposed to have Gingerbread on the phone and Honeycomb on the tablet and maybe ice cream sandwich. I'm hearing a little bit about possibly that, too, right?
Well, I mean, I would imagine if they have ice cream sandwich, if they get ice cream sandwich in there, then they don't need Honeycomb on the tablet and Gingerbread on the phone.
Because that's the thing. If the tablet is powered by the phone, why does the tablet have Honeycomb and the phone has Gingerbread? Okay, so is the phone the phone is the main processor and I assume the data connection, and then is the tablet just like an extra monitor, or does the tablet work independent of the phone?
The tablet doesn't work without the phone, and in fact, the tablet can power the phone from a battery standpoint. But I see what you're saying. Like, how is that process? How is kind of the underlying OS shared between the two devices if the phone is giving you one? And tablet's giving you another. It's
storing the tablet apps on your phone, or are you storing them on tablet? Like what? Like, I don't know. Does the tablet have its own separate storage? This is crazy. This is crazy talk. Yeah.
But I actually like the concept.
I do too. It's just the whole presentation. I don't know, Jason. You guys showed the presentation from Computex.
The actual on the stage
Taiwan,
unveiling.
The unveiling. And he has his hands. I'm moving my hands for those of you who aren't watching. He's got like some sort of magician hands and that kind of thing. It was just a little. Are we going to show it? Yeah, we got to show a little bit. It starts around 10 seconds, 12 seconds.
Yeah, it's buffering.
This is some of the best presentation I've seen from Chairman Johnny Shea, who unveiled the device. It's a 3D tablet too. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Padfone. Well, that's what it says here in this. I don't know if we're ever going to see it. No,
I know, it's like buffering forever.
Buffering.
Well, I think it's also important to note that while we're talking about Asus and the Padfone, that they're not the only ones in the game, and that also announced was the Transfone, which is basically the same concept, which is a tablet with a form factor that allows the phone to slide into the back. And that was and there aren't a lot of details around what it is exactly, exactly what the specs are and things like that. But there are two devices that have this sort of phone slide into tablet mode.
Yeah, and the Transfone was actually revealed or announced a few days prior. But of course, Asus is getting all of the media.
Well, Transfone didn't have the fancy video.
Yeah.
That's the thing, There you go. Marketing. You got to spend the money.
That is true.
All right. I think it's time for my mini review.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to wear those 3D
I have to
glasses
wear these
in order
3D
to
glasses in order to do this. Okay, so I spent the weekend with the G Slate, and I want to address an email from Castman in Seattle. I can't read it until I take these glasses off. But he basically says he bought an iPad 2. He's thinking about returning it because he thinks he wants an Android tablet, and he knows that we haven't had a chance to play with all the tablets out there, but you know, what would we recommend? And he totally disagrees with Steve Jobs, saying he thinks a 7-inch Galaxy Tab would be okay. And he thinks the iPad is too big. Well, I might have an option for you. This G Slate from T-Mobile, which we've talked about, it's been out for a while now. It is $529. It's about 21.9 ounces. It's 8.9 in the screen. And I have to say,
how does that compare to?
Now, when you hold it, look, it's kind of like you can hold it with one hand, really, you know. And then when you have the Kindle open, you know, it's like reading. It reminded me of having a Kindle in my hand. You know, oh, this is hard to do it with my glasses on. I'm going to take my glasses off here. Right now. So yeah, it was actually really excellent to read. What I also like about it, I think the size is actually really good, believe it or not. And what I like about it too is that it also has an HDMI port. Oh wow, the brightness on there went far. So I'm showing the HDMI port, which is cool if you want to run some videos. There's 3 speakers on this thing. One on this side and 2 on the other end. So you get some really good audio playing if you're just playing it out loud. Mm-hmm. You know, it's pretty snappy. I didn't put a ton of apps on here other than the ones that I already have on the desktop. I like the feel. It does take forever to turn on and off. I don't know what's up with that. But, you know, it does have this 3D feature, which I don't know if you guys are into 3D. We're talking about 3D with the Asus. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I recorded some video in 3D, and that's their whole thing with this device. And you have to wear the glasses in order to see this video. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. There's Tom. And I was trying to, like, look. That's my new friend, Jack. Anyways, there's a little bit of depth in here. It's kind of, I don't know. It depends on if you really think if you're going to use it or not. I don't know. But at least they give you the glasses. What else can I say about this? It's not too bad on the weight. You know, it's really hard to compare now that we've had the Samsung Tab 10.1. Mm-hmm. That tablet is so light and effortless that it's kind of almost unfair, you know, in this respects to review
what would you say weight-wise, like compared to the Zoom?
Oh, this is lighter for sure. Okay. It's got gyroscope on here, so you know what was funny when I opened Google Music. Oh, let me go to songs. Here, really, I'm going to my songs, and it's empty because I'm offline.
There you go.
Okay, now what I want to do is show albums. Okay, can you see? Can you see? I'm moving. And it's slightly moving.
And it changes your perspective, right?
It changes your perspective a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see from this
it's hard to see. Sorry, guys. But anyways, and it's good for gaming. Mm-hmm. $529, decent size. You know, I took this around with me. The 4G out in Southern Illinois didn't really work. It went to 2G. Mm-hmm. But I got to say, you know, this was a decent tablet. For all my, you know, complaints about it taking forever to load and that kind of thing, the size is actually pretty good. Yeah. Maybe it isn't too small. The 7-inch might actually be too small for me, but the 8.9 real estate here kind of works. Nice. So you know, there's some T-Mobile TV. There's some, I don't want to say bloatware. There's just a few apps.
Say it. It's okay.
There's a few apps. You know, there's a few T-Mobile apps here, like T-Mobile TV or whatever that's added. But for the most part, it ran everything really well. I liked all of my apps on here. You know, and it's got honeycomb. So it's a decent app. I'm curious to know what you think of it after you play with it this weekend, Jason.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
It's not bad.
I'll play around with it and use the 3D for about 10 minutes and probably not use it again. I just feel like, I don't know, it's such a gimmick at this point.
It kind of is, but
needing
I don't know.
The glasses, I don't know. But it'll be cool. I'm definitely looking forward to using it, especially after having used the Galaxy Tab for so long.
Battery life was good too. I played for 2 hours on a plane, a game, and it only went, you know, to 60% at that point after being fully charged.
Oh, okay.
So that was good. You know, as with any of these tablets, I'm really looking forward to actually renting movies and, you know, getting 3.1 and doing all that stuff. So
has GPS. We've gotten a couple of emails from people that are wondering about, you know, Wi-Fi only devices.
GPS.
But is this Wi-Fi only?
No, this one has the 4G. Sorry.
Okay.
4G. T-Mobile 4G.
Oh, nice.
But there are some Wi-Fi tablets out there that
the Galaxy Tab actually does.
Yeah, they have GPS. You just need, obviously, to have a connection. So
yeah.
Anyways, I like it. It's a decent tablet. It might be a little too steep for some people, but I think for what it's got going, it's an interesting size for what you might want to use it for.
All right, awesome. And that is the not the Galaxy Tab, but the G Slate 529 on T-Mobile. All right. Well, let's move on to apps. And right back to Eileen.
Hi guys. Guess what was free today?
Oh yes.
The long-awaited Plants vs. Zombies.
That's right.
I didn't realize what a big deal it was until Twitter freaked out all day today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's free today. I think it's going to be $3 after that. Let's see if I can load it. Now,
Wi-Fi only download.
I got to say, I'm not really excited by the tablet version, quite honestly.
It doesn't seem like, and mind you, I purchased it for free and then installed it on my tablet just quickly because I didn't have time to play with it, but I wanted to make sure I got it today. And I haven't had a chance to really play with it, but in the few seconds that I launched it, it just kind of looked like it wasn't optimized at all for tablets.
Yeah.
Yeah, the graphics look kind of like blurry almost.
Yeah, blocky.
Yeah.
I'm really disappointed by that because this is where you want to play it. You want to play it on this. I mean, obviously more people have phones, so, you know.
I can't play it on my phone. It won't install. It's my phone is a non-supported device for that game.
Yeah, and actually that happened to a friend of mine too. He was downloading it and it just wouldn't install. I couldn't get it to work. And so like,
Well, I'm trying to tap to start here. Well, anyways, we talked about it last episode, and it's basically like a tower defense. So you've got your zombies on the right. They want to come in. They want to knock on your door, and you just got to plant a ton of things. Here are sunflowers to give energy and to give you points in order to buy other items that are going to defend your home. So I'm going to tap on the sun. There we go. Get the little sun spots. I'm going to plant some more sunflowers. I don't think I have my volume on here. You can't hear the awesome, or maybe you can hear it here. I'll play it here. Oh no, I'm like juggling too many devices here. Yeah. But anyway, so then you plant your pea shooters, or you plant like a bomb, and you kill the thing, and it goes on, and there's many different types of defense, plants against the zombies. And there's crazy zombies that leap like they're pole vaulting. There's gonna be like Michael Jackson zombies later on. You're gonna be in a night mode. This is, a lot of you already know this game because you had it probably with the PC version or the Mac version on your desktop, but it's now available for free today as you're listening to the show. Most of you will it won't be today anymore. It'll be tomorrow or the next day, and it will no longer be free. But it's only $2.99, so if it sounds like your cup of tea, then go get it. It's definitely a really fun game to play on your phone, quite honestly. So I would say get it. I have to imagine that they're going to revise their apps pretty quickly for tablets. You mean optimize it for optimize them for the tablets? Well, that game seems to scream for it. They made such a big deal about this launch, and Amazon rallied around it and stuff like that. And I don't know why if they're going to do that, why wouldn't they make it for everything? You know what I mean? Yeah. That it seemed kind of perplexing. It seems like there are more people complaining about it than we're actually embracing it. Oh, really? So, I wasn't paying attention, but my point of view on my Twitter feed, that the majority of people were frustrated over either not supported on their handset, or I saw some comments about the tablet versioning, and I loaded up on the Zoom, and it took forever to load, and yeah. Well. It's here. I suspect there's going to be updates, and, we are kind of meh about it. But glad that it's here. Well, I will probably play it a lot on that device, in fact, and that'll be part of my review next week. Okay. In other news, if you're a fan of playing NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis emulated games on your Android device, like I have been known to from time to time, things just got a bit more difficult after years of proudly promoting Yong's
OID emulators. They look like Nesoid or Snesoid. I can't even say them, but they're OID at the end, basically. Google has abruptly pulled them from the store entirely, undoubtedly bowing to the pressures of game system developers. I have to imagine maybe that Sony-branded gaming phone that we've talked about a couple of times, possibly. Yeah. So for now, the emulators are available. The developer put them up at slide.me, which I believe was that the App Store that I covered in episode 1 or 2?
I think it was, yeah.
Our beta. Yeah.
So aren't you happy I talked about that App Store? Because now you know where to go to get it. And they're actually up there for free right now. I think they had a free version, but they also had a paid version that allowed you to save your progress in games. And they're up on slide.me for free for the next couple of weeks. That was kind of what he did as a concession to all the people who had been paid on the Android marketplace to say, all right, we'll download it over here and you'll continue to get updates. Those other people that download it that weren't there, they get kind of a freebie, and then eventually it's going to go paid there too. But yet again, this is another example of Google kind of removing something from the market, for better or for worse. The flip side to that, I think, is just the fact that with Android, you can go other places and install an APK, that you find in different markets, or even from the developer's website. I'm sure.
Honestly, I'm surprised it took this long. Like I would have thought this would have happened much sooner because with these ROM emulators, they're cool little apps, but there's so much copyright stuff involved.
Now, Echo actually in the chat room is saying they pulled it because it was using code by another developer.
Ooh.
Now that's scandalous.
Well, yeah. So I kind of feel like I understand what he's saying in the sense that some of these other emulators are. I think maybe they're kind of built from each other, but I don't know. This has been in there for like two or 3 years now. So
ages, yeah.
It's a long time for it to just be there. Someone's going to write in, and please do write in, aaa@twit.tv. Correct me, and let me know exactly what you know, because I want to know more.
We want to know that.
I want to know that thing that you know a little bit more. Echo, the invitation's open. Please email me. So let's take a quick break and tell you that this episode of All About Android is brought to you by Netflix. Delivers movies directly to your home, and that saves you time, money, and hassle. You can instantly watch thousands of TV episodes of movies, stream directly to your PC or Mac, stream to your TV via Netflix-ready device like Xbox 360, PS3, Nintendo Wii, Roku. You can get it on your phone. The Netflix app on the phone, which is fantastic. It actually works on my phone legitimately now, so that's pretty awesome. Plus, you can get DVDs by mail in about 1 business day. Watch as many movies as you want, anytime you want. There are never any late fees, no due dates. And so I had talked about this a few episodes ago about wanting to see Kick-Ass, and I finally saw it. My wife and I saw it over the weekend.
Oh, and
yeah, it was pretty good.
All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I was like head over heels in love with the movie, but it was very entertaining.
It was a lot of fun. And the guy who directed the upcoming X-Men movie, which is opening this Friday.
Oh, really?
And, so that gives you kind of a taste for what you might expect at the X-Men, maybe. Not really, but yeah. So it's fun. One thing I did notice on Netflix, actually, Eileen, they just added season 1 of Glee onto Netflix.
Yeah.
So
the best season so far, since season 2 is not so good.
Yeah, go relive the magic.
I'll be watching, it's summer now, so we're in that sort of period where there's not a lot of new episodes from, television shows, kind of in that break, so I'm going to catch up on Buffy. I'm still on season 3, but, the latter part of season 3, so I'll be doing that on Netflix, which is great. Even though I own the DVDs, I actually prefer to watch it over Netflix.
It's just so convenient because you just kind of turn on your device. You don't have to find the DVDs hanging out anywhere. So I totally agree. I do the same thing. Instantly watch these movies, these shows. There's a ton of other ones that we haven't talked about, like many, many, many other ones that we haven't talked about. Go register for a free trial membership. Go to netflix.com/twit and be sure to sign up for your free trial with the /twit because that gives you kind of the 30 days, and that's pretty awesome. We thank Netflix for their support of TWiT and All About Android.
Thank you.
And with that, I think it's about time that we hop into the arena.
2 enter, 1 lives. Android Arena.
Yeah. Okay, so last week we had an arena. Do you remember? You remember that awesome arena?
I haven't seen the results of the poll.
I had not until prep for today, and I'm I'm sorry, Eileen.
You know what? I didn't lose by that much.
You didn't lose.
I'm
getting housed in these polls. I need to step up.
You bring your A game.
But
so,
I mean, I knew Google. I mean, who doesn't use Google
No,
Reader?
I honestly thought that the Google Reader. So basically, Google Reader got 42% of the votes. We actually had a lot of votes this particular episode.
Thank you, everybody.
Came in second place at 38%, and Feedly third place at 21%. I have to imagine Feedly is just kind of working out those beginning kinks with the new app. And I was using it actually the past week, and the more I use it, the more I kind of like how it does things. It just kind of does things a little differently.
Well, there's some things that Pulse doesn't do, which doesn't mark all. There's a couple of things that are missing, key things that are missing. And again, I use it to really skim headlines, you know, to kind of keep up. But I do use Google Reader as well still. So well, I understand.
Personally, I was surprised. I honestly thought that Pulse was going to win. It just has a lot of mind share. Google Reader, yes, everybody knows a Google Reader. But Pulse does that and kind of takes it a step further with presenting it in a very enjoyable, entertaining fashion. But hey, you guys voted, and hey, I'm not complaining. It was my app that you voted in, so that's pretty cool. But this week we decided we all have tablets, and we've been a little tablet crazy on the show. So we promised to kind of put that at bay a little bit because a lot more of you have phones than have Android tablets. But this week we decided to kind of focus on apps that are in some way, shape, or form optimized for the tablet. So this is going to kind of focus on that, which means it's varied all across the board between the three types of apps that we're bringing to the arena. So why don't we start with you, Ron?
All right, cool. Yeah, so I'm in it to win it now. I'm going to win the tablet. When I was looking for it, I was looking for tablet apps. I was looking for honeycomb optimized tablet apps that I could really utilize the Motorola Zoom. I looked at some productivity apps, really kind of boring. I went for the fun app. So I took a look at Drawing Pad, which is a application that basically turns your tablet into a pad. And for any of you artists out there, I have a lot of friends who are comic book artists and work a lot of art. I see them drawing on iPads, and I was curious, is that existing for Android? This app looks like one. My friends who do that, who have Android tablets, I'm gonna suggest they check out because this app really looks pretty powerful. On top of that, if you have kids, this app is almost a must-have. Because if you've ever seen kids sit down with a tablet and start drawing with their fingers, it's actually kind of a lot of fun to watch them do it. And this app is perfect for that. So what it does is it takes the whole kind of screen and gives you this whole kind of palette to use from. There's a little draw on the left that you can open up, and that's where you can choose the various implements, the writing implements. So you see here, I'm going to go here. You can see that I've got a bunch of crayons, and I can scroll up and down through the colors and choose what color crayon I want, and then just tap that, and then just start drawing, and you can see me draw. And it's really cool because there are, as you can see my entire apartment in the reflection, there are crayons, there are pencils, there are markers, varying widths, varying intensities. There are stickers. So for kids, there's a bunch of animals and sports and things like that. You can change the background color. You can make it white. You can make it black. You can make it red. You can make it lines. So it's really good to help for learning how to write. They've got remember the ruled paper with the lines with the dotted line in the middle to learn cursive.
Yeah.
They've got that in here as a background. Really simple to erase it, to just start over. And what's even neater is that, of course, sure enough, there's a little, in the drawer, there's a little USB cable, and that opens up the sharing options, as well as you can save any drawing you do to your gallery, or you can save it locally within the application. So any app that you can share within the Android, so if I want to post something to Facebook or to Twitter, I can do it straight from the app and get it out there. And if you're a creative type and you're looking for some way to draw, there you go, you got it there. Yeah. It's just super easy to use, and you just right there, you launch the. What happened?
Something crashed, but it wasn't this app. It was something in the background.
Yeah, you launch the app and you're drawing right out of the gate. You're just just start to, there you go. See. And it's really neat. I mean, it's it's finger based. I'm sure it works with a stylus if you have a tablet with a stylus. And again, I don't know if this could have been. There's no motion control or anything like that.
I really wanted it to do the shake it to erase it thing.
Yeah, not yet. Maybe we can talk to developers and see if they can do that. Yeah, but try closing the drawer. If you just pull the drawer to the right, and open it back up. Nice. And you can scroll through the different devices.
Eraser? Yeah. There's the eraser. No, that wasn't the eraser. There
you gotta pick what eraser you want. Yeah, see, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
sweet. This is fun. I think.
Yeah, it's a fun little app. It's really cool, and it's a good way to communicate. If you're in a meeting and you can't talk to somebody, you can just quickly write a note. So there you go. Different applications.
Yeah.
And it's I think it was like $2.99 in the marketplace or $1.99.
Yeah, $1.99.
$1.99 for $2. If you have a kid that's like 5 years old, this will keep them entertained on a car ride. So
let's see if I can do an Android. How's the bottom? I can't remember. Suddenly, it's something like that, right?
Why don't you look at your shirt?
I know. I'm trying.
Oh, hey, here's my guy. Here's Bug Droid.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting used to calling him Bug Droid for the Android developers out there. I mean,
nice.
the Android team in Google.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
All right.
Not bad. So that's Drawing Pad. Good app. I was impressed. I was actually, I didn't quite, for those kind of apps, it's just got to work. And it did. It made it really easy to switch through the different markers and different pencils and things like that. And it's by Mirtha Design Incorporated. So and they do some other like kind of preschool kind of apps. It's a little more skewing towards the kid, the kind of playful. But I would love to see what a real artist could do with this and see what they could create.
Totally, and then I imagine you can just share those pictures out when.
Yeah, the whole share. Like if on the app, if you click on the very bottom of the draw, Jason, if you see the USB cable, that opens up then you see the share button as well as the save to the gallery and things like that. So you could draw your own background to your tablet if you wanted to do that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it was down there. I just.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, cool, nice. So that's Drawing Pad.
Drawing Pad.
$1.99 in the Android market. There we go. All right, Eileen, you're up next.
Well, I know, Ron, you said you went for fun. I went for really fun.
You went for way fun.
I went for way fun because I'm still playing games on my tablet, and that's what I'm using it for other than reading. And over the weekend, I had a few airplane trips. I'm not a big fan of turbulence, but one game that got me through it was this one. It's called Battleheart. It's $2.99, and it's you can also play it on your phone as well. And basically, it's an RPG type game where you take four characters and you do battle against various evil doings. So I've got here's a Claire. Oh, I got to keep her. She's my healer. I've got some warriors, some Vikings. I think I'm going to take a witch in here, move him out. I'm going to put them in there. Okay, great. Then you can also buy more recruits if you have the money. In the academy, you learn what they can do. They've got poison knives. They've got different weapons. Each one of them, as you can expect in an RPG type game. Then you can buy protection, some amulets, some even a rabbit's foot, weird things like that. But let's just go ahead and get into the battle. I'm going to show you kind of how it works. And you know what?
Is it like turn-based? Uh-oh.
My throat is going.
Okay, yeah, just go for it, and I can cut this. It's fine. I'll just stay on the screenshot so you can see the level select.
Haggardum, darn.
Haggard.
I'm going to have to check this out. I've been looking for a good RPG.
Yeah, sorry I didn't have your app up at first because when I opened it up to do it, the purchase never went through. So I had to then do it and install it, which took a little bit of time because the Wi-Fi here is really not very dependable. But anyways, it ended up working out all right. Uh-oh, I hope Eileen's okay.
I'm fine. This always happens to me. Okay.
Frog in the throat. All right, so let's see here. I'll just do this so I see it in edit or something. All right.
Okay, so here I'm going to go battle. I've got my 4 players. And it's basically touch, screen play. Takes a little bit to load. It's a little bit of a gripe I see on the Android
Is it
marketplace.
a large download?
I think it is. Let's see here.
Oh, I guess they do have the size on here, don't they? 46 megs.
Okay, here they go. And then I'm waiting for my evil characters, so I just kind of point them to the direction that I want them to start fighting. I want him to go there. I want him to get that guy. I'm going to take her. She's my healer. Oh, hey, no way. You're not going to go get it.
Cool. I was going to say at first, is it turn-based fighting, but it's
nope.
Not really.
I need her to get out of the way.
It's a little bit more action-oriented.
Yep. Then they've got special, woohoo. I can, you just kind of move them around. I'm not doing a good job here, but...
It looks like fun.
Okay,
yeah,
so here you go.
So it's more of an RTS. It's not really turn-based, but it's still an RPG. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Is there like an exploration mode of kind of like the world to go to, or is it battle after battle?
It's just on the map right now. Did you see that big grid there that I had? That's basically the map, and you kind of follow. There is one battle area that you could actually learn, and kind of what they do is sort of survival. And the survival mode allows you to gain extra, points and weapons, but you can learn, and you don't really, you don't lose points or anything. I don't know. This kept me entertained for hours and hours and hours. And I mean, I would love to just keep playing this right now. So, you guys can finish the show without me, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know.
Nice.
It's
well,
just
it has
effortless.
really cute but solid graphics, and it looks, on the tablet it looks extremely sharp.
And you can play it on your phone as well, but I kind of prefer this kind of gaming on the tablet. I haven't tried it on my phone, but I think I will, since I can actually get it on there.
It's fun. It's funny because these RPG games normally tend to scare off normal people, as I like to call it. But like with those little like Lego-esque characters, it's a little more accessible. I think it's a little more. And those games are tons of fun. Actually, I'm actually downloading this app right now.
Oh my God, I love this. This is so much fun. So this only sad part for me is the fact that I played it on the review unit, the G Slate, and I don't think I can move it to my Samsung Tab. So you have all my credits when I pass it on to you, Jason.
Did you not tie your ID?
There's no tying. I didn't see that. And correct me if I'm wrong, chat room, but I didn't see a place to tie in my ID. I didn't even have a chance to put in my ID.
When you log in, when you add your account, I believe is how it does it. So
the only thing I added was my name. This is my on this game. The only thing I added was my name.
But when you purchased it through the market, was it under your Gmail address? So then it should tie to your account, and you should be able to download it on other devices. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's how I was able to get all my apps onto this device, is because I, had downloaded
Well, no, I'll have the app, but I won't have my experience.
Oh, I got you. Your saved gameplay. I was like, wait a minute. What are you talking about? You moved all your stuff onto your Galaxy tab, right? It's the same thing. I see. The save points.
You can have my points, Jason.
I missed that. All right, cool.
Anyways,
well, I will seem like a pro from the very beginning. All right, cool. That looks like a fun game. I am going yet another route. I'm going more, I guess it's kind of similar to what we were talking about last week, but it is different in that it's not an RSS reader. It's a news feed, and you can think of it as, if you've ever used news.google.com, their kind of news search engine and display site. It's kind of like that, but you're not... and on that site, you can't necessarily load RSS feeds into it. It's just scouring the web for the top news items that fall into a certain category and presenting them to you and giving you the option to pull up, all the different sources that make up that story. Well, this app is called News 360. And do I have my tablet up here? I do not. News 360. So... And I will say I will say right off the top, and I have to imagine eventually they're going to add feed reader support into here, because it's just kind of begging for it. You really want to, as you play around with it for even a short period of time. You're like, I know a feed that I want to add to this. I'm sure they're going to add it eventually, but I don't know that for certain. But I mean, right off the top, it's like using Google News. And, like right now we're looking at top stories, and you can see along the left all the different categories: business, crime, sports. You can add your own categories. You can go down and edit and, change the order or add a section, which I, of course, did. Oops, I just backed entirely out. Which I, of course, did with Android, which is kind of what I put up there at the top. And it searches, I think it's a Google News source, and it searches kind of, all the latest stories that are, within that keyword. You can build around more of a definition around it if you want it. If you didn't want it to be as wide as just Android, you could build it a little bit more defined. But you can kind of look through. You can see right here, it shows you the main story, and it picks... Like here, for example, Amazon's Android App Store gets another huge exclusive, Plants vs. Zombies from TechCrunch. So if I click through here, it's going to take me to the story, and it's going to give me the content from the RSS feed that populates it. Down here is the website, and if I want to actually read it on the website, I click down here, and it full screens it. And then I can actually, navigate through the site and read it on the site, get the full content of the story hit that little tab, and it kind of brings me back to my main page here. What you see on the top here are all the different sources that it was telling you there are articles. So if you actually really want to read, Joystick's take on it, you hit Joystick, it loads the feed, loads the web page down here. These images on the side are actually images pulled from all the stories that make up your list as well. So you could use that to choose from. If there's an image that really grabs you about a particular story, you could click that and it'll take you to, the image, and ultimately you can get to the story as well. Or you can see up here, there's a little Twitter button that's kind of like Twitter, content based around this story. God, is it per source? Add a link to the story from, oh, okay, I didn't even notice that the first time. You can actually tweet it out on your account, and you can choose to link to any of the stories that they've given you sources for. So you could just do it right from the app. There's another view. There's another thing that you can do, which is you can narrow things to local. So if I was in top stories and I wanted to see top stories in San Francisco, or here in this case, Petaluma, I'd hit the local button, and it filters your stories based on your location. San Jose Mercury News, kind of narrows it down. I haven't found that to be 100% accurate, but it's a really good way to kind of instantly get a look at local news sources, if not local news. You can save articles for offline viewing. So this Twitter unveils follow button to track celebrities. If I wanted to read this, but I didn't have time now, I could click that plus button, and it's going to actually load the feed. I don't think it loads the web page specifically into memory. I could be wrong there. When I load it, it's still loading the web page, but the feed comes right up, which in this case doesn't give you a whole lot. The feed is pretty truncated, but so you can save those articles for another time. And then this is kind of cool. It's the 360 view, and if you press that, it gives you a layout of all the images that make up the section, and you can.
It's kind of
a shot in the dark, but yeah, you can.
That's cool.
You click that, and it kind of gives you a little bit more details about what you're looking at. And then if you want to read more, you hit read more. Oh, whoops! I think I just popped it back. There you go, and it takes you into this familiar view, the kind of triple pane layout. So it's really cool. There's also this little highlighting that highlights kind of keywords on the page that makes up your search. So. I just found it kind of a nice way to read through news, and the way I've been using this hasn't necessarily been the same way that I use something like Pulse for getting an idea of stories for the show. That's a lot more specific because I can add feeds to it. In this case, it's a little bit more like what's going on in the world, what's going on in entertainment, and I pick it up. It's almost kind of like a newspaper to a certain degree. I'm picking it up and getting an idea of like a bunch of different sources as opposed to just this specific thing that I research with Android.
No, it seems like a really beautiful UI, kind of unique way to look at the news. I like that 360 view. So it looks great.
I'll be honest. I like my Drawn app, but I think I'm going to vote for your app. That's pretty cool. I'm really impressed by that. That's really cool. I hadn't seen that yet, so I dig it.
It is absolutely free in the market. Again, it's called News 360, one word. News 360 for tablets.
He gets us too because this is free, Ron. And ours is paid.
Totally. And I feel like he totally stacked the deck here by going last.
Yeah, and what's the deal with, everybody says, well, Android people don't like to pay for apps. Well, here we're losing again.
Right,
Ron.
exactly.
Just know that we lost already.
No.
Even though my app is amazing, and if you guys really like games, you guys should really get Battleheart because it's an amazing game.
I mean, I'm downloading. I was literally downloading News 360 right now, and I realized the genius of Jason is that he totally orchestrated this.
I know. He waited to go last. And,
Amazing.
I did not.
I got distracted. I couldn't even really review my app because I had a freaking frog in my throat for those of you who are watching live.
You did a great job.
Let's let the people vote.
Let's let the people vote. So here you go. It's tablet optimized apps from episode 10, Battleheart, Drawing Pad, News 360. The link is poll.cm/1788. I'm typing it in so I can take that on the screen here as well. There we go. Boom. Poll.cm/1788, and you can vote for your favorite tablet optimized app. And Joshua in the chat room asked really quickly if there's a version for phone. I don't know if there is, but anyways, so go there and
there's
vote.
One for mine.
Yeah,
see, on the phone.
See, yours is more fully featured or fully represented. Only the short,
I'm still going to lose. It's fine. Oh, Jason. Come on. He's like the, he's the strong guy here. That's fine.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break and talk about our friends at Trim Tonic, which is, and the screen goes dark, a natural appetite suppressant tonic that takes the edge off of being hungry. What makes Trim Tonic unique is that it uses no stimulants to get this effect, no caffeine, no hoodia. Instead, it has 8 active ingredients, some of which have clinical studies showing their ability to curb appetite and reduce body fat. 3 main ingredients are Acron dasyspora, Ervingia gabonensis seed extracts, both of which are tropical plants used in India and Africa for curbing appetites. And the third is cocoa leaf extract. And, what is that?
Trim Tonic.
Oh, that...
It's got a little
there's
bubble
a bubble
here.
on the top and everything. That looks
It tastes
good.
like punch. That's what I always say.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
Lower
Volterot.
third.
It tastes like punch.
Yeah, why is it saved in there like that?
I don't know.
That's strange. Here. Hey, that's even better. All right. Be sure to visit www.braintonic.com. That's braintonic with a Q.com for more information. Enter coupon code TWiT for a 20% discount. And, yeah, check it out. It smells so sweet in here suddenly.
It tastes like punch. I feel like that's my my catchphrase.
That's your catchphrase. It tastes like punch.
It really does. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you guys.
All right. It's time to move on to our feedback section. This drop is brought to us thanks to Joshua Caleb, who did the audio as well as video for it.
You've got mail.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Joshua.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll get hopefully a higher def version of that from you if possible. But Eileen, why don't you take the email?
Yeah, we've got an email from TC who says, AAA crew, well done all around. Lots of great topics and analysis. I need some help. All I want to do is make and take phone calls via my Wi-Fi network when it's available. I've searched the internet high and low for how-tos, but I still don't have the definitive answer. My workbench and office are in the basement of our home, and the Sprint signal, so I guess you have a Sprint phone, refuses to enter. I need something that will bring the signal in or get it out via Wi-Fi. I hope you do a show on this topic. Thanks for taking the time and effort to produce AAA, TC. Now, I did a search for making calls via Wi-Fi. First of all, if you're a T-Mobile user, you can do this now. If you're wondering out there, T-Mobile has this feature for you. One app I found was NetTalk. I will say I haven't used either. I just want to say I did a little bit of research for you. NetTalk is one app. It's free in the Android marketplace, and it says it gives you free calling over Wi-Fi or 3G in U.S. or Canada. So I'm hoping that somebody knows out there. And today, though, there was another app that I found through a new Lifehacker article, and this app is called Groove IP, Groov, capital VE, IP. And it says it makes free calls from Google Voice over Wi-Fi or 3G/4G, uses no minutes at all. Wow. I read the article, and apparently there was a little bit of kinks with it. The reviewers said that there was a couple of installation hurdles. A couple times it didn't recognize the app on the phone. And it's $3.99 in the App Store, but eventually it worked. So I haven't tried this, but you might want to try this out if it's a real pain and you work from your basement, TC. And if it works, please let us know. If it's a piece of crap, please let us know too. But I'm actually going to check out Groove IP. I want to see if that works on a different phone, not on my T-Mobile phone because I get that free.
Yeah,
but
nice.
Anyways, hopefully this helps, TC. Good luck, and let us know.
I don't know if Verizon has that, but I don't know if I've ever hit a situation where I'm like, I need to do that.
I don't think, for some reason, I feel like Verizon wouldn't support it. I feel like they're the ones who are like, no, you're on our network. Like, that's the whole big problem is that, like, it's the carriers are selling you a phone to make calls on their network. Right. And anything that circumvents that gets them touchy.
Right.
So,
totally. Yeah. All right. Well, that is it. We got to wrap it up for today. Ron, let people know where they can find you.
Sure. You can find me, as always, on Twitter at RonXO, or you can find me on my websites over at ifanboy.com, all about comic books, or graphically.com. Great apps for Android to read comics online, so check that out. I also I've been doing some app judgments over at Revision 3. Go to revision3.com/appjudgment, doing some Android reviews over there recently, so check those out.
Fantastic. Awesome. We'll check that out. And Eileen, how about you?
You can go ahead and find me on Twitter at EileenTV.
And I am Raygun01 on Twitter. You can find me there. You can find all the details about Android on the TWiT site, twit.tv/AAA. Send us an email. AAA@twit.tv. Leave us a voicemail, 347-SHOW-AAA. What else? On Twitter, we're at Android Show. There's a number of different ways that you can find us. But you can catch us live every Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific at live.twit.tv. And that is it for today, folks. We will see you. Have a fantastic week. And we will talk to you later next week.
Bye.
Bye.
I love that.
I'll be honest, it's weird.
Yeah, it is a little weird.